What's going on? I'm Andrew McMahon, and you're on Infectious Magazine.
This is Angela with Infectious Magazine, here with Andrew McMahon. How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Very good. So you have your highly anticipated album, The Pop Underground, coming out on April 30th. What can fans expect, and what do you think are some of the pressures that you put on yourself making this?
You know, I truly tried not to put too much pressure on myself when I was making it. You know, I think a part of the process of sort of unwinding, you know, several years of doing Jack's Mannequin records, which, you know, were pretty high level of intensity and a lot of pressure, was kind of to end up in a studio and really try and put the fun back in it and relax a little bit and enjoy the writing process and enjoy the production process. And so I think most of the pressure was just to leave some of that outside of the studio, you know. Of course, like, doing anything for the first time under, you know, my own name is a little bit scary. But yeah, I think this was actually a really free sort of a process from the beginning, and I enjoyed it the whole time, you know.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
So I was reading your blog, and in it you had said, the act of being human is only an art form if you really let it fly, which I thought was I know, how's that feel, right? But I thought that was a really interesting perspective. Do you think that some of our greatest, hiccups in life can create our greatest memories or works of art in whatever form?
I mean, I think they can, if you, like I said, if you are in the position to sort of let it happen, you know, and not not overanalyze things too much, and so much that you're not able to put one foot in front of the other, you know. And so yeah, but I certainly think that, you know, adversity can breed, you know, some of your greatest strengths.
If you could give yourself 10 years ago one piece of advice, what would it be?
Slow down a little bit. Yeah, I think, you know, I think there's a point where you can push so hard that you can stop enjoying things, and I think if I could remind myself to really just sort of focus on the joy and finding the joy in things a little bit more that many years ago, I probably would have tried to follow that advice.
I'm 24 now, and I remember being a teenager and listening to Leaving Through the Window, and it's not that the memories themselves that I have are particularly interesting, but, you know, that album stands out in the memories. So what are your thoughts on, you know, just the fact that we have that ability, that our senses bring back these memories, and does it ever sink in that your art can do that for so many people? Like, something you just love doing can have, you know, like 10 years later, still remembering it.
I mean, I think that's a beautiful thing. For me, you know, maybe it's not the #1 reason why I create things, but it's certainly one of the greatest benefits, and one of the coolest things I hear from people. You know, the fact that we're doing these shows, and it's the first time that I've sort of housed, you know, all of my records kind of in one set. You know, and I think doing that and hearing the comments come back at the end of the night when I meet people after the show, you know, just, you know, the different ways that the songs have played into their lives, whether it be, you know, when they were in school or when they were getting married or whatever it is, you know, like having those kinds of stories crop up is really flattering, absolutely. And that's how I listen to music. That's how I perceive music myself. Yeah,
it's so cool. How do you feel about the idea that music and musicians are raising this generation, and what does that mean for you?
They're raising the generation.
Yeah. Which kind of links back to what you're talking about.
I mean, look, I think that's sort of always been the role. If not raising a generation, at least running parallel to it and sort of echoing the sentiments of the generation that musicians fall into. You know, and that's been going on for a very long time. You know, how do I feel about it? Well, I mean, I feel lucky if I'm a part of that, absolutely, and I certainly know that I feel that way about a lot of musicians that I admire.
You had mentioned in an interview that the Pop Underground, in a lot of ways, is about family, and there's a lot of childhood references. So before we get to hear some of them, you know, some of the songs, can you share one of your most cherished childhood memories?
One of my most cherished childhood memories.
Back a few years.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny because I was thinking about this the other day. I made this trip to Mexico once with like a family friend, or a friend of mine, when I was in middle school, which was like this particular year was kind of like one of those rough years. You know what I mean? You know, like you're a kid, you're growing up, you have those. But I remember going to Mexico, and it was sort of like, this was in the first year that I really had officially moved to California for good. You know, and I remember ending up on the beach in Mexico one day, and like getting out of the sand and like just kind of laying face down in the sand. I don't even think I had a blanket. You know what I mean? And like and just like sort of like feeling the sun on my face and sort of my body on the sand. And I remember just thinking like, wow, this is perfection. Like this is exactly the like this is the most beautiful moment. And that one sticks with me for whatever reason. It still comes back to me, and you know, it's probably where my weird obsession with the ocean and the beach and all that comes from. Maybe it started in that moment in the sand in Mexico.
It is funny how those things stick, though.
Yeah, and it's not, I don't even remember. I mean, I don't even talk to the friend anymore. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't even remember his name, to be honest. But I remember this amazing moment of sort of bliss on the ocean.
You've talked about the sweeping emotion that you get while playing a set and reflecting back on your career, and at the same time, the audience is feeling a similar effect at thinking about their life and what the songs mean to them and everything. So do you think that working off each other's energy is part of that, I don't want to say magic, but it kind of is magic in a way when you're all connecting like that?
Absolutely. I think it's the number one goal of any set is to like have the energy be like a conversation. You know what I mean? And not have it be all the band pushing at the crowd or all the crowd pushing at the band, but sort of like meeting in the middle somewhere when, where the crowd becomes sort of just as much a part of the music and the songs and what's coming off the stage as the band and the sound from the stage is. And yeah, that's everything. That's what a good show is in my mind. It's one of those things merge.
What is your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure? Well, I mean, being that I just walked back from the grocery store to get all of the ingredients to make a proper old fashioned, it's a cocktail.
Oh,
yeah, so I mean, rye whiskey might be my guilty pleasure. I don't know how guilty I feel about it.
What is one question you'd like to be asked but never have been, and what is the answer?
I don't know. I don't even know that I could answer that question. So that's a good one. Yeah, I might have to pass.
You can't pass. Okay.
I don't know. Like,
think of it like, what do you want people to know? Like, I know you seem pretty open as far as.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I just spew everything out there, so it's hard to even think of something that I haven't shared. I mean, one thing nobody's, it's been out there, but nobody really has talked about, and nor do I think it's essential because I'm at this point haven't followed through yet. But I'm like I'm working on getting a pilot's license right now.
No kidding.
So yeah, why don't you ask me about my pilot's license?
Why don't you tell me about your pilot's license?
I'm doing a really bad job. I got
scary?
I got like 4 months into it and was really doing well, and then I ended up kind of getting back to writing and working and being in the studio, and so I had to kind of put it on hold, but I'm crossing my fingers to get back to it. So.
Well, it's better. You don't want to be preoccupied while you're flying the plane.
It's true. No, you really, I mean, it requires such a high level of focus that when I realized that my attentions were getting pulled someplace else, it was like, rather than try and cram it all in, you know what I mean, when it came to flying an airplane, I figured I would wait till I had some more focus. But it is where the line in Synesthesia, sometimes you're only flying for a while, the new song off the new EP came from, was because I'd be driving over this hill and see the Cessnas, which is like, this one hill is like your marker for when you're going to be heading into the airport, and so I'd see these Cessnas and get kind of jealous, and that's where that only flying for a while came from.
It's cool that you're doing that, though. I've never had I wish I had the desire, I guess is a good way to put it, but I'm terrified of it, so.
It's amazing, but yeah, if you don't desire it, it's probably not
I'd
worth
be
pursuing.
Person to fly, yeah. And then is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, just listen up when you get a chance to the music and come out and see some show.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Angela.